Assalamu alaikum. I am Jawad Ahmed. Today we are present in our second class of chapter number 2 with the second learning objective, that is law of demand, means effect of price on demand. So before we can start our class, kindly subscribe my channel so you can get all my videos on a timely basis. Let's start the class. What is law of demand? Any law in economics can be presented in three ways. In order to present your examiner a valid question, you have to explain a law in three ways. Firstly, in definition form called as descriptive form. Second is in some schedule plus table form called tabulation form. And the third one is already covered, which is tabular form, graphical form. That is picture of the law, the best way of presenting a law. So in order to give examiner a more descriptive and more valid question, you have to explain a law in three ways. First in descriptive form, second tabulation form, and third is graphical form. Definition, schedule, and a diagram. So let's start our main topic, that is law of demand. What is law of demand? If price of a product increases, its quantity demanded decreases. Similarly, if price of the product decreases, its quantity demanded increases. Ceteris paribus. Ceteris paribus means if other factors also called the assumptions of law remain same, means you are only studying the effect of two things. First is price of the product and second is the quantity demanded, and ignoring all other factors like weather, income of the consumer, population, size of market. Each and every factor is considered as constant. Constant means there will be no change in other factor while studying change in price and quantity demanded. So law of demand states that if price of the product increases, its quantity demanded decreases. And similarly, if price decreases, then quantity demanded increases. What is ceteris paribus? Ceteris paribus means assumptions that other factors or determinants remain the same, equal, constant, or remain unchanged. So next is increase or decrease in demand is sometimes called expansion or contraction of demand, and rise or fall of demand. So change in increase and decrease in demand, sometimes called expansion and contraction, and sometimes called a rise or fall of demand curve. So this is the law of demand. What are the assumptions or the factors that we have considered that they have remained constant? These are units are homogeneous. All units are considered as same or identical. Second one is units must be consumed simultaneously. And that it means that the consumer consume them in a one go or in a continuous manner. There should not be unnecessary delay between such consumption. Next is income of consumer does not change. There will be no, we have been assuming that the income of the consumer remains the same. If the consumer is earning $100, then he is still earning the same $100. Next is price of complementary goods does not change. We have already studied this. What are the complementary goods? So in this case, if you want to learn what are the complementary goods and substitute goods, refer to my previous class. I'm also referring their link in the description section below. Price of substitute goods does not change. Population and number of buyers does not change, means size of the market does not change. Next is expectation about price or availability of goods in the future do not change, because we consider or we assume that same supply or same demand will flow in future, and there will be no change in the demand or supply of the product in the future times. Taste or preferences of the consumer remains the same, means that the consumer flavor or taste or its a habit to consume a product. For example, he is in a habit to purchase Lamborghini or BMW. He should remain purchasing their own brand rather than focusing on other type of brands. Ninth one is advertisement does not change, means there should be no impact of successful or poor advertisement on the demand curve. And the last assumption is that availability of credit facility does not change, means banks still provide same loan facility to the people as they were providing in the previous days. So all these 10 factors need to remain constant while you are studying the impact of price on demand. So let's move to the third thing, that is table and the diagram. Tabulation of law of demand. In previous slide, we have already studied that there is an inverse relationship between price and demand. Therefore, the price need to increase and the demand or the quantity demanded need to increase or decrease as per the change in the price. If price is increasing, then quantity demanded will decrease. So assume the values in order to make a diagram. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is the change in the quantity demanded. If price is increasing by 1 point, then the demand is also decreasing by 1 point at each and every level. In same type of change is occurring between the price and quantity demanded. So let's make a diagram for a better understanding. Price is always taken on the y-axis, and the quantity demanded is always taken on an x-axis. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So start making this table by analyzing the above table. At 1 point, demand is 5. At 1 price level, demand is 5. marking them with a point, 3, 4, and 5. Therefore, a downward curve is created called as demand curve. This downward slope shows a lot of things that are happening here. Downward curve firstly show the inverse relationship between the price and the demand. Now make them an interpretation of the diagram. What has happening here? At y-axis we show price and x-axis we show quantity demanded. Already stated to you. The line demand, this line is called demand curve. Yeah, it is called demand curve. Demand curve is a graph that shows how much quantity of good is demanded by the consumer at different price levels. Different price levels are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Demand curve is downward slope showing the inverse relationship between the price and the quantity demanded because law of diminishing margin utilities applies here. Substitution effect also affect here and income effect also affect here. So three laws will apply on the demand curve. So the reason behind the downward slope of demand curve is the income effect. Second one is price effect. Third one is substitution effect. And the last fourth effect is, which is the most important here, is law of diminishing marginal utility theory. So these four laws apply here, due to which the demand curve is downward slope. So we will be going to study each of every one in our later classes. So this is the interpretation of this whole diagram. No numbers or figures are required to be specified along axis of any diagram in economics. It is an easier way for you in exams that if you do not want to make a one by one graph, then you can easily draw a simple diagram without marking or without making any numbers or connecting dots in exams. But I prefer to make a diagram by making these dots and making these dots connected through these points. Next is why slope of demand curve is negative. It is the most asked question that we have been coming in our regular school classes or in our daily university classes. First reason of negative demand curve is law of diminishing margin utility. What is this? This law states that the consumer, when a consumer consuming more and more of a good, the utility or the satisfaction level that he has got from the first unit decreases subsequently. So the satisfaction level decreases simultaneously. This law states that extra consumption of goods bring less satisfaction and consumer do not buy more. When the satisfaction or the utility for which you have been consuming an item is elapsed, then you will not expend your quality money on such a good which does not give you satisfaction or give you satisfaction a little bit, unless prices reduce to measure satisfaction. Due to this law, the demand curve is downward slope or having a negative demand curve. Second effect is income effect and substitution effect. Income effect. When income of a consumer increases, its purchasing power, that is the power to consume the goods, also increases, and he purchases more of a good as compared to previous time. As prices decreases, existing consumer buy more because their purchasing power or the real income increases. Second is substitution effect. What is this real income? A real income means an income without inflation effect. I may write it here for your kind reference. What is real income? Real income is an income without or income obtained after deducting inflation effect. So this will be the real income. Moving back, what we are studying is substitution effect. As price decreases, consumer will shift towards lower price goods to satisfy their needs, leaving the higher price goods, due to which the demand curve move downward. Next is practical importance of law of demand. Law of demand contributes to the determination of price of certain community. Most of the students ask me why they have been studying economics or why they have been taught economics in business studies. So here is the practical importance of law of demand, why this topic have been taught to you. Law of demand contributes towards the determination of price of a product. In real terms, in order to decide a price of the product, firstly you have to identify its demand and the market where you have to sell this product. If you are selling this product to such a market where there is a higher demand of the product, then you will sell your product to such market and you will make your price higher at such market because there is a higher demand in the market due to higher customers. Second importance is that producer can producer can see the effect on demand due to increase or decrease in prices and can take decisions accordingly. So, in order to decide the price or determine the quantity that need to be produced, the consumer have to firstly look at the demand of the product or the price of the product. If a product is in a high demand, then he need to produce such goods in a bulk quantity. Otherwise, he do not he need to shift towards such product that is in high demand or having a low price. Demand schedule. Schedule means table. The tabular form that we have created in this slide. Here it is. The table helps the entities. Entities means companies or organizations or businesses for future, plan for future by analyzing the impact. Impact means effect. Effect of change in price on the quantity demanded. Companies can decide their businesses whether they need to produce which quantity, a quantity whose demand is declining day by day, or a product whose demand is increasing day by day, and there is a high chance that the profitability or the profit of the company will increase by producing and selling such product whose demand graph is gradually increasing day by day. So such product is better. आगे. The next one is it also helps state. State means a country. In raising tax, the government will impose more and more tax on such goods which are providing more and more profit motives to the suppliers. If that is, or for example, if increase in tax decreases, if tax decrease demand, it is not wise to increase tax on overall amount that will increase. So it is a practical importance in which we have covered importance for the state, important for businesses, importance for a consumer at a very ground level. Next one is limitations. What are the exceptions or what are the circumstances under which law of demand does not come true? Means the situation under which the things that named as assumptions do not fall fixed or remain constant. So all the assumptions will be fall here that we are consuming or that we are assuming that they will remain constant, but in reality they do not remain constant. First one change in trends. Trend means fashion or the norms, culture. Culture has changed. People started to move from cold drinks to natural drinks. Change in income of the consumer, shortage of the good in the future, expectation of price, change in future, basic necessities of life. The rule of law of demand does not apply on the basic utilities of life. Consumer have to purchase them at any cost. Exception of law of demand is also given goods. Given goods are those goods which consumer want to purchase at any price. Given goods are type of inferior goods whose demand increase with the increase in price. For example, potato, pulses, etc. Often you observe if the price of horse rise, houses rise, demand of houses still does not change because it is fall under the basic necessities of life. It does not mean that the houses are given goods. The reason is houses are non-homogeneous goods. Their prices differ because they differ in design, construction, material, and lucratives. Non-price determinants are also demands, effective population, ability of borrowing. So it is our today class in which we have comprehensively covered what is law of demand. We have studied its definition, then we have studied its assumption, table, diagram explanation, why slope of demand curve is negative. Next one, limitations of law of demand, and last one is the given goods which are also considered as the exception of general rule or limitations or the areas where the law does not apply. So it is a class. If you have any questions, you can make them mark or make them write in the comment section or WhatsApp me on my WhatsApp number that is already given in the comment section or in the description area. If this class has helped you in any way, kindly like this video, comment this video, share your concerns or share your queries with me so I can improve from those areas that still need some kind of improvement, and subscribe my channel and share it with those that you want to help them by making them or by awareing them that such video is now available on YouTube. Let's meet in the next class with the next topic. Thank you for your time.